This review of Mega Man 2 may contain spoilers and coarse language. If neither of those bother you, then have fun watching and enjoying this review. So get this, Mega Man was a modest success, but not enough for Capcom to put time and money into it. They told the staff of the original game that if they wanted to see a Mega Man 2, they had to work on it in their spare time. They actually did that, and it's one of the best-selling Mega Man games ever. It sold so well, you had morons on TV saying,
"For a franchise that peaked in 1989 with the release of Mega Man 2.
Got bad news for them. Mega Man has constantly fucking peaked. But I mean, these two fucking losers said it, so it has to be true. I mean, one of them does coke. Well, we'll have to find out, right? Sure, I could figure this shit out, but we'll start with the story. Mega Man 2 kicks off much the same way the previous game did. You slap start, can enter a password, or do a new game, and you're picking your guy to mess up. One thing that's absolutely different is the opening, now presenting a little information about how Mega Man found out Dr. Wily has come back, with the robot masters he designed himself this time, and is ready to try and conquer the world. Mega Man decides that one ass whooping wasn't enough, and suits up ready to take on Dr. Wily. The presentation this time around is way more stellar, as there's cutscenes and new notifications from Dr. Light himself to tell you when you got new items, which we'll get to soon. There's even some continuity, like how the final Wily fight has the floor burst open and you start the next stage falling down. Nice attention to detail like this certainly shows that Mega Man 2 has much more love put into it than its predecessor, but does that transfer to the rest of the game? Much like the first, Mega Man can run, jump, and shoot. He still decelerates a bit when moving after letting go of the D-pad, which I don't like. Mega Man also has his trusty Mega Buster for fighting, which does solid damage, fires 3 pellets, and is reliable. Unlike the last game, Mega Man 2 does away with points, instead having a less arcadey feeling game since the points, the points didn't really do a damn thing anyway, so whatever. There's 8 Robot Masters to fight, and each of them have their own crazy stages. Upon beating Robot Masters, you get to obtain their weapon. Upon beating certain ones, you'll get items 1, 2, and 3. Which are situational items that can be used for extra platforming challenges. Much like the bodily functions they're named after, they all do certain unique abilities. Item 1 creates a platform like if you pee outside in a Wisconsin winter and it freezes. Item 2 is a diarrhea rocket that flings you across the stage like a bad Taco Bell night. And Item 3 is when you come and it bounces to your wall and wiggles up. Yeah, that's definitely why they're named that. Mega Man can also grab E-Tanks, which are Dr. Pepper reskins that upon drinking, their acidic battery-like contents heal Mega Man up. You can hold up to 4 in-game, and they're plentiful. Mega Man can still also get the same items as before from defeating enemies. So there's little and big health recoveries, and little and big weapon refillers. Like I said, there's no points, so you never get those pellets anymore. I should also mention, in the international versions of this game, there's a difficulty choice of normal or difficult. Difficult was the original Japanese difficulty, and was also how I've chosen to play this game. While the game on normal can be really fun, and I can see why they added it, especially with, well, some really, really bad bosses you're gonna learn about, I'm still sticking to what it was originally designed with. Unlike the bodily function items, there's also 8 new weapons to go with the 8 new Robot Masters. Much like the previous game, the rock, paper, scissors mechanic is still here, and will let you deal great damage to bosses depending on which weapon you use. In this game, however, it's kinda broken. There's like 3 Robot Masters weak to Metal Blade, and Metal Man himself is weak to his own weapon? But there's also Robot Masters that if you hit them with their attack, they'll heal. So that adds an extra layer of complexity, but holy Item 2, you'll have fun experimenting with all the weapons you get. A great one that's broken as fuck is Metal Man's Metal Blade, which is a torrent of pain that can be aimed in 8 directions, has a dummy thick hitbox, and barely uses up any energy. Yeah, this fucking weapon is broken as shit. It's good, but there's 7 other weapons that also have their uses too. Quick Boomerang from Quickman is one I find myself using a lot due to how fast it is and how it loops back. It behaves similarly to the Rolling Cutter in Mega Man 1, but has 3 shots, is way faster, and you don't have to stand in place when using it. Yeah, huge recommendation on this one. Bubble lead, or lead as it should be, is a rolling bubble that leads you to an enemy, but it is also heavy like lead and falls down. Look, I don't care if it's lead or lead because both ways are true if you think about it. Regardless, this thing does some good damage against Sniper Joes and is honestly a really great weapon. Crash Bomber is also good in situational places because of its explosion effect. You can also clear out walls in stages to get bonus items. Hell, you can use it against the Wily machine and absolutely demolish it. But you need to game over to try that, and man, I can't wait to talk item 2 about that one. Another great one is the Claymore. You get this near the sorry, that's my game. The only one I'm not crazy about is Flashman's Time Stopper, since that's all it does, it stops time. You can't cancel it either, it just drains and that kinda sucks. Helpful for Quick Man stage if you need it though. You can do that part without it, and it's a lot more fun to try and pull off over fighting the Yellow Devil legitimately. I can tell you that. With that, the level design in Mega Man 2 is an incredibly huge step up. Levels are paced excellently, and no stage feels too long or too short. Airman has some really creative level gimmicks with appearing platforms, rotating ones, and tons of gimmicks related to flying enemies or ones that push you back. Metal Man stage has all these conveyor belts and crushers in it. Bubble Man's got a ton of water and unlike the first game, makes you jump extra high. With that, they coated the ceiling in spikes, so you need to jump very carefully. Crash Man's got a fun vertical climb up to fight him Mega Mono y Mega Mono. Heat Man has gimmicks where the stage is more fun when you skip it with item 2. Sorry, buddy, I don't have the patience for that. Actually, I do, but it's more fun to use item 2. The Wily stages combine a lot of these elements, along with using the numbered items to traverse stages pretty cleverly. One awesome change too is now boss chambers don't have little mini challenges before fighting them. So it's as simple as entering a room, taking a breather, and going into fights. Now this is where the item 2 starts to kick in. Crash Man's got an Elec Man moment where climbing up on the wrong side leaves you with an E-tank but no way to get up without pissing. At least falling back down is quicker in this game. Bubble Man also has some problems where the screen transitions lead to enemies instantly spawning on top of you. I'm glad those are like the major bad things I don't like in this game, but an overall theme in this game is that running out of weapon energy for the poo pee and jizz weapons always leaves you trying to grind to get it back. Mega Man 1 didn't have this issue with the magnet beam because it had weapon energy you could grab and always respawn if you needed it. Mega Man 2 has fucking nothing like that. So if you need to refill an item, well, you better hope there's some fucking enemies nearby, or else you're gonna have to game over to refill it all, which is just plain stupid. I'll explain why that's bad in a later section because, holy fuck, some of this game's bosses. Enemies are, however, less annoying in that regard, but also much more complex and dynamic. In fact, they're really damn fun. I've already complimented Airman, but Woodman has some really cool enemies with bats, dogs, and gorillas, even reusing the bird enemies from Airman stage to great effect. There's the fire-tossing boys, the spazzy old faithfuls, and the returning Sniper Joes with an orange coat of paint. Wait, what the fuck? They're actually called, like, their name is literally Returning Sniper Joes. That's, alright, sure, okay. They aren't as annoying in the first game and take much less hits, but they have a few places where the game designers were laughing their asses off. Really, guys? No jumping here, huh? Woodman's ostriches are my favorite. Want to know how you beat them? Yeah, nothing! That's so cute. I love stuff like this. The one enemy that is lazy are these spinning boys that don't really do much besides touch you. They can be annoying, sure, especially if they swarm you, but with proper shooting you're gonna do fine against them. No enemy really pisses me off in this game, and that's a really good sign. Barring minor exceptions where they have silly placement. Wish I could say the same for the bosses. Alright, I've been hyping it up enough. Alright, so the Robot Masters themselves are fun. I really enjoy fighting, like, every single one. The only one that's kinda weak is Flashman, but he's otherwise easy to take care of. Quickman, however, can be obnoxious to fight because he's spazzing around the room like he's gotta take an item too. There's a pattern to him though, and he becomes fun to deal with. Though he also has multiple weaknesses which can make the fight easier. Metal Man is also really cool because it combines his stage's conveyor belt gimmick, yet it doesn't affect him. He can also change the direction to really fuck with you. I should clarify too, no, Airman ga Tao Senai isn't true. Airman's easy. Woodman can be a bit annoying, however, just use Metal Blade. Oh, and jump over him. Crash Man is the one that can be frustrating if you're trying to do Buster only with him. But if you use his weakness on him, he's donezo. But the Wily stage bosses can be atrocious. Oh, what's a great example of an Item 2 one? How about the wall boss, hilariously named the fucking Boo Beam Trap? You need to have strategy to fight this guy, because if you fuck up once, have fun waiting to die, because that's what you'll be doing, because you cannot beat this boss now. To be fair, there are a few exploits you can do so you don't have to waste weapon energy, but it's still like a really tight fit at the end of the day. Not only that, but you have to grind like a motherfucker to get your Crash Bomb energy back up. Oh, but imagine if there was something even worse than that, because there is. The final Wily fight is only weak to Bubble Lead, so if you hit his alien ass with anything else but that, it'll instantly heal him. Great. Oh, but guess what? If you don't have enough weapon energy, you'd figure, okay, whatever, kill the enemies before the Wily... Oh, wait! There aren't any enemies! So you have to get a forced game over to even have a chance at fighting him again. There's nothing in the first game that got to those levels of nasty. Like, that's actually bad as fuck. Well, at least the Robot Masters are fun, and the second Wily machine. There's also the Dragon Boss in Stage 1, which is okay aside from the fact that he only has 3 little tiny platforms to stand on. And then you have... Gutsman! You guessed it, Megatwerp! So in better news, the graphics for Mega Man 2 aren't too shabby. They don't make me Item 3 everywhere, but there's definitely more attention to detail than the previous entry. The main thing is backgrounds. They are much better looking this time and have really good tiling. As well, some of the tiles are much bigger and more detailed. Another cool aspect of the graphics is the liveliness of the Robot Masters. They've all got dynamic silhouettes and their designs are so cool. Quickman's definitely my favorite of the bunch. I love how his little boomerang head appears over the selection box. What a fucking little beast. I love him. There's also plenty of bigger bosses that take up huge portions of the screen, with the Dragon Boss of Wily Stage 1 showing off that well. He is also showing off another aspect of this game. This game seems to run better too, but that's just an illusion. Mega Man 2 is better at handling more sprites, but it's also awful at it. Sprite flickering is very common, and while certain enemies like the Froggy Boys that fire tiny frogs at Mega Man don't lag the game, it's those fucking chain crushers that really cause the flickering. Like it's just some stupid metal chunk, but it's really just too damn much for this game. It's another reason why the Boo Beam bitch fight is annoying too, since it's just fucking flickering all the damn time. Outside of that though, there's way better graphics in this sequel, and it mostly runs well, but that flickering, it gets old. Mega Man 2 though, it's definitely rockin' when it comes to music, and it really shows with how most of them have intros, or those moments I don't know the name of where they just completely change the beat, cause I like that shit. Good examples of that are Woodman and Metal Man's themes. Mega Man 2 definitely prides itself off the music, and you know it, I know it, Wily Stage 1 has been remixed to death in Rebirth, and yeah, it's a good song. I get why people do it, but hating it because it's popular is stupid. I don't know what my favorite song is, but it's probably either Metal Man, Crash Man, or Quick Man. Sound effects pack the same solid punch that the previous game did. In fact, most of them are from the previous game. Hey, don't bother perfecting perfection. Weapon sounds are crazy cool, but some of them just use the same sounds. Quick Boomerang and Bubble Lead both use the default Mega Buster sound, which kinda sucks, but I guess you can only have so many sound effects. Metal Blade is fucking hardcore though. The sound of a buzzsaw tearing through the sky. Oh! Yeah, that's priceless stuff. So John Capcom was so impressed with Mega Man 1's changes that he gave me the opportunity to fix up Mega Man 2. So what could I change about Mega Man 2 to make it less... awful? Well, there's an incredibly easy thing, following what Mega Man 1 did, having respawnable item refilling things nearby to respawn every time Mega Man dies, so it's not when you're off screen. That would make it so you don't have to grind for weapon energy. For anything, because that item 2's annoying. An example would be having some item refillers right near the beginning of the Item 1 areas in Wily Stage 1. If you die and have to go back that way, having some refills there so that you can refill your ammo for Item 1. Of course, don't actually outline that. If the player is too stupid to understand why that's there, they should be punished for it by wasting it on the wrong thing and me also dunking their head in a toilet. You can also reuse this technique with the Boo Beam fight and the Wily Alien fight, because then you can actually hit them and not get a game over to try again! Here's another idea to add on to it. For every boss that's immune to the Mega Buster, which is just the Boo Beam Trap and the Wily Alien, you should have enemies spawn in at certain points so that Mega Man can fight them to get weapon energy back. And make it so that there's higher chances that they drop weapon energy. While I understand the easiest thing to do is make it so that the Mega Buster can hurt these bosses, they would be much more dynamic boss fights if you didn't offer that, but offered the chance to continue fighting the boss. Next, you gotta move some of the enemies around, because, wow, there's some bad enemy placement that just instantly hits you. Luckily, a good chunk are in Bubble Man stage, and all you have to do is delete the enemy here. And you should be good. Heatman also has a few of the spinny boys coming at you from stupid-ass angles that you can't hit them in. Deleting just a few here wouldn't hurt. Mega Man still does the sliding thing when decelerating. None of that, please. Some glitches to look into, like the sprite flickering, would be important too. The big crushers causing a lot of optimization issues is really odd, and I wonder if Capcom did something incorrect with the memory management with them. So they would be looked at. I'd also add some unique sounds for the weapons so that they sound cool and unique. Also minor level design things like no stupid tunnels with Sniper Joes in them, you dicks. I'd also make it so that the Metal Blade costs about maybe twice as much weapon energy as what it does now. That thing is much more overpowered, and just having a little bit of balance with it would be cool. That seems to be all I'd like to change. Mega Man 2, wow, what a step up, and a step back. I'm glad to see that this series already hits some great notes because, jeez. I wouldn't call Mega Man 2 perfect, not at all. It's still a pretty good game with a couple of major fucking flaws in it. To call this the franchise peak, though, you'd have to either be ignorant to the other games, never played it, or just far more into it than my mortal brain can comprehend. They just gotta, not have incredibly Item 2 design on occasion. Like, we could start there, just a Mega Man 2 no bullshit version. ROM hacking couldn't be that hard. But speaking of programming, if action games seem up your alley, you'd probably like my games, Necrolepsy, an action platformer with a demo out on Steam, and Draco Blood, an action RPG I'm funding via Patreon. Check them out if they interest you. Mega Man 2 is definitely a huge and welcome step up from the first, but I do hope that Capcom seriously learned their lessons. Imagine if there was a sequel where you couldn't progress for the same reasons. Oh, they wouldn't make that mistake twice. Right?